I think they're tactically masterclass from a Kaizer Chiefs perspective. They played the high line and allowed a lot of space in behind.
Yeah.
However, that wasn't fully utilized by Pirates, and I think they knew that would be the case. So they didn't allow Pirates to build up play through any meaningful space. So they played a high line with a mid block.
Yeah. Why are you both committing to the player? One has to go mark the space that the attacking player is progressing to, and the other one can commit. You know, if that one fails to get the ball, you still have cover, and the other one will recover. For a game of that magnitude, you also have to instill discipline, and I think in that game there was a lack of discipline in both ends. You know, there were tackles that were supposed to not go unbooked, both ends, and I think the ref should have utilized that to instill a little bit of discipline. Maybe would have seen better football.
The contextually massive derby plays out to a draw, and Sundowns fail to capitalize. This is Black and White Boots. My brother.
Yeah, man.
Buccaneer.
Through and through.
Hey, bro, what a derby. I guess from a perspective of football, it's hard for me to gauge because it's the first derby I've been to in person.
Yeah.
And largely, I watch those games on TV. So it's difficult to say from a derby perspective how good this derby was. What is obvious is how much better Chiefs were this weekend to just 4 or 5 weeks ago when they played against Pirates last time.
Yeah. Look, I think as the Chiefs got their I'll say their tactics right. You know, they didn't allow Orlando Pirates to play their normal football, and obviously we could see with the way they compacted the midfield. You know, with your Mabue and Ndlovu and what's his name? Ox at number 6. So they didn't allow Orlando Pirates to play their football, and also what Kaizer Chiefs came with in mind was to be physical, because it was a physical contest, and I don't think Orlando Pirates was ready for such, because Orlando Pirates is more of ball playing, and Kaizer Chiefs were just so physical. And I think in the beginning, in the first half, sort of like throw off Orlando Pirates. But as the game progresses, that's when we started to see that the game opening up a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same.
I think that there were a couple things that I picked out. So speaking purely from the football perspective, because I want to get into the derby experience, but the game itself, I think they're tactically masterclass from a Kaizer Chiefs perspective. They played the high line and allowed a lot of space in behind.
Yeah.
However, that wasn't fully utilized by Pirates, and I think they knew that would be the case. So they didn't allow Pirates to build up play through any meaningful space. So they played a high line with a mid block.
Yeah.
And that just completely created overloads in the midfield.
Yep.
As soon as Pirates had the ball, Chiefs had the overload in any key area.
Yeah.
They pressed hard and aggressively in that mid block. So all the 50-50s,
they were winning.
Chiefs were winning 50-50s. So, you know, we can talk about tactics all we want. That was commitment from Chiefs players. They were hungry for this game, much hungrier than they were in the last derby.
Yeah, they showed a lot of hunger in this game than the previous derby.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And like you said, that mid block sort of made it difficult for Orlando Pirates to progress forward, because you could see all the time, even on the what you call fullbacks.
Yes.
Like your Hoto, when he's got the ball, instead of going forward, he was forced to turn back, you know, and you ask yourself, could a player like Mahopa, had he started in a game like that, which is playing mid-block, was it going to make a difference as a target man? Because all you need to do is just to scoop the ball over to Mahopa, because he's very good with link-up play. So I think it was one of those where I think Orlando Pirates battled to get behind Kaizer Chiefs, and for the longest time in the first half, it was the case.
Absolutely. I think you saw it all the way through, is that Chiefs' press was aggressive, but when the ball was in the back line of Orlando Pirates, they left it and just maintained shape. And that's what that mid-block meant to Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, because they had one guy, they had Lilepo doing the pressing.
Yeah, and he didn't press aggressively on that.
He presses and then he comes back to compact to the midfield.
But as soon as that ball leaves that back line of Orlando Pirates, then the press was extremely aggressive. So the shape was excellent, tactically was excellent. This was the first half. And that's when I said to you, Makgopa is the man that Pirates need to bring into this game to create that link-up play, because it would have made a huge difference already in that first setup. Then the second half happened. Shabalala gets brought on from Kaizer Chiefs at halftime. I switch over to you and I say, Chiefs have been playing well. The game's been going actually in their favor in a lot of ways. But I was concerned that now this changed the tactics, because the formation changed slightly and it did change the tactics. But it worked for Kaizer Chiefs at the end of the day.
It did.
They were still live wires. So the management staff recognized that there was an opportunity there for Kaizer Chiefs to go and win the ball higher up the pitch, be more aggressive with it. And then they scored the first goal. They scored the opening goal. You were irate with the defensive mistake, with two players getting drawn into the ball. Neither one.
Yeah, why are you both committing to the player? One has to go mark the space that the attacking player is progressing to, and the other one can commit. If that one fails to get the ball, you still have cover, and the other one will recover. So I think it was a defensive error from Orlando Pirates, one that should not happen, especially when you're chasing the league. And I think they're gonna look at that and said, we might have missed an opportunity here to close to gain points.
Absolutely, I agree with that. However, I think the biggest opportunity missed was Makgopa not playing the full game, because when he was introduced to the game,
it changes everything.
Changed everything.
It did.
Apolis looked a bit of a phantom most of the game. I mean, he showed his brilliance. I think that's one of the things sitting in the stands, is that if you're able to just lock on to individual players that the TV cameras aren't necessarily focusing on, and
taking his
free roll, etc. And his movement was incredible. You had that free roll. Is he on the left? Is he on the right? Is he through the middle? You don't know. And when Makgopa was introduced to the game, then you saw that freeing up of Rele, that freeing up of Apolis, and the goal came from a lot of Pirates pressure, which was for me massively down to the link up play of Makgopa allowed them to build that pressure.
True.
And I just think, look, I think it was a good game of football, minus the disruptions, because I think there were some dark arts at play.
Yeah, there were a lot of dark arts in that game. And again, it speaks to the significance of that game from both ends. Kaizer Chiefs is playing to make sure that they continue with their good form. I think it's the seventh game without a loss. Orlando Pirates, they're chasing Mamelodi, they're chasing the league, they're chasing Mamelodi Sundowns for the league. So there was just a lot to play for, and that's why I think more than anything, both teams didn't want to lose that game, and we could see with the way Chiefs sort of like played yesterday that they really, really wanted it, and they showed us that they can actually, they were very close to winning that game. It's just that I think after they scored, Pirates, that's when it switched on as well, and then increased their tempo and more pressure, but there were moments where I felt Kaizer Chiefs was like threatening after they've scored the first goal to take it to 2.
Definitely. I think in the first 5 minutes after the goal, it just looked like Chiefs would go on and score another, and it would be a 2-0. But Pirates showed some resilience, showed why they were there, bouts at the top of the league, played good football, again, particularly the introduction of Makgopa. And then, a defensive error or two, or a lapse in judgment for Kaizer Chiefs allowed the first goal to go in. But otherwise, I think they defended quite resiliently. And Peterson, good shot stopper.
I think it played. We spoke about it.
And before kickoff, we were like, I hope Peterson's not
man of the match.
Well, and you said quite clearly he might well be.
I said it might well, because I know what kind of a goalkeeper he is. He's a very good shot stopper, and there's one thing about him that he knows how to read the game. I think he reads the game very well. He gets all those balls, but I think his weaknesses is just distribution.
You said that time and time again during the derby.
Yeah.
6 or 7 times that distribution just went straight out of play.
Yeah.
With Hugo Bruce in the stands, you put on a man of the match performance.
Yeah.
But he's looking at that and he's thinking, my number one choice goalkeeper.
Yeah.
His distribution is the best on the continent, probably.
Yeah.
From a goalkeeping perspective, is Ronwin. When he's got the ball at his feet, he steps up. He's got that sweeper keeper kind of role. It feels a little bit like an African Manuel Neuer. He'll step up and his distribution of the ball is excellent.
Yeah.
And Hugo Bruce must have been watching that game and seen a great performance from Peterson and then just been like,
Yeah, no, look, I mean, when you look at how Peterson is so good at shot stopping, and you look at the past goalkeepers that Kaizer Chiefs had, let's not even go far. Like, let's look at Kune. Kune's distribution is second to none. It's world class. And you wonder if maybe this is maybe the guy that they can call to assist, because I can tell you, if Peterson can just get his distribution right, that number one for Bafana, it's within reach.
Absolutely.
But he was good on the day. My only criticism of him, it was just like distribution
from the feet. Goal kicks and passed balls from the feet, because his distribution from the hands, excellent. He'd find those long diagonals across field, etc. I think another thing that was interesting is Chiefs tactically using the byline to defend. So if you're going to create such heavy overloads in midfield, there is going to be space somewhere. That's how it's going to work, because unless you mark man for man, someone has to be in space of some sort, and that space was wide for Orlando Pirates. But if you just force them wide enough, the byline becomes an extra defender for Kaizer Chiefs. And I think they did such a good job at that. Where you going?
You forced going wide.
Exactly. And then I think Chiefs handled the crosses quite well. A few corner kicks. Pirates never looked threatening from the corner kicks. To be fair, Chiefs never looked threatening from corner kicks either. Or even those free kicks, silly free kicks given away close to the box. Kaizer Chiefs could have punished Orlando Pirates for giving away some of those silly free kicks. But they were casual about those deliveries. And I was saying to you in the stadium, Chiefs of the past won titles when they weren't the best football teams. When they won titles, sometimes it was helicopter football that the fans complained about, etc. But set pieces was an opportunity to score goals. And if you added that to Kaizer Chiefs' game yesterday and gave those set pieces a proper opportunity to score goals, who knows, they could have won the game, and they could have won it convincingly.
No, of course.
Those set piece deliveries were far too casual. And it's like, this is an opportunity where if you're not going to create as much as Orlando Pirates have created this season, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Orlando Pirates, through build-up play, create opportunities to score goals. And we've spoken at length about their wastefulness. And I just think to myself, you're not going to create that many opportunities. You're not that side. But if you create better opportunities from set pieces, you give yourself an opportunity to win more football matches.
Of course. Because those are, especially in a game that was so tight like that one, you want to utilize all those opportunities, especially of set pieces and corner kicks, to be more efficient on those and hope to get more goals, and then that just afford you an opportunity to increase your lead. And it was not the case on the day.
Yeah, football's a game of fine margins, and if you can get those marginal gains on your opposition, it can be massive for you.
Massive.
I mean, at the end of the day, what an experience. The stadium was pumping. Before kickoff, when 90,000 people are singing all together in unison, it's incredible. Incredible.
It was incredible, and Again, I was just only disappointed with the delay. I mean, a 45 minutes delay was a lot, especially
for traffic.
Yeah, for those who goes to the stadium early, it becomes tiring. I mean, derby is a full day experience. Obviously, when you're going for the derby, that it's a full day. But you get to the stadium, you seated at 1:30, and then you hope at 3:00 the game kicks off. It's delayed by 45 minutes.
Yeah.
My goodness, can't we get to the stadium early? And I think we've talked about this. I think South Africans are more comfortable in going to the derby, but driving their own cars. And myself and you yesterday, we used Park and Ride, and the facilities of Park and Ride was efficient enough. But my only criticism is that from what I researched, they had Gold Reef City, Sandton, I think Fourways,
Monte Casino
Fourways, and Clearwater. Those, that's the stadium management park and ride. And my question to them is, where are the majority of stadium attendees are coming from? Are they coming from those places? I think maybe if they extend it to more external areas like your Tembisa, somewhere maybe even within Soweto, your Foslo in the east, and see if that can't help them and reduce the traffic into the stadium, because it's crazy. The problem with the derby is the traffic, and it's only because people are utilizing their cars. If people can get into buses, it's gonna make a life a lot easier. And my urge to stadium management is to try and spread this Park and Ride to other areas
advertise it,
because it was so difficult to find.
It was difficult to find because we agreed weeks ago. Park and Ride is going to be the way. We don't want to drive there. Park and Ride is going to be the easiest. It took me 2 hours on Googling, looking this and that, whatever, to find the Park and Ride.
I had to call the stadium management. I spoke to the lady. She couldn't even give me credible information.
Yeah,
it was disappointing. And Gautrain apparently has got something similar.
We learned that when we were in Sandton looking for Park and Ride, someone from Gautrain happened to be there, seeing us looking.
And
she said, I'm disappointed you guys aren't coming with us. And we're like, we had no idea
exactly
that Gautrain was. And if more people utilized Park and Ride and Gautrain, we wouldn't have these delays. And it would be a better experience for everyone. We really enjoyed the Park and Ride experience. And I encourage anyone who goes to the derby, find one of those alternatives, the train, Park and Ride.
Please. It's going to make a life a lot easier for everybody. We get to the stadium on time, and you get to enjoy the game. You don't have to spend the entire 3 hours trying to get out of the stadium. It's not worth it. It makes the experience very, very, very exhausting, So I think we need to work on that. And also us as fans, we need to push to do these things, if there are those facilities, let's go support and do all of those things.
Absolutely agree. But what an experience, tremendous atmosphere. I thought it was a good game of football. Like I said, besides goalkeepers going down, I'm injured. I don't think they were, just disrupting the play, allowing their players to come back on, etc. I thought tactically it was very good. Besides what we pointed out of evidence, Mahopa would have made a difference.
Of course.
I think the passion and the fire in the players and some quality football, I think without those disruptions, we would have been in for an incredible game, because those disruptions ruined that flow. Because as Chiefs were playing those triangles, as Chiefs started getting the flow of their passing together, there was a disruption, and then it all stagnated again and fell apart. And then it took time to build back up, and the same for Pirates. They started getting that groove of playing in place, the disruption came in and changed the scene again.
And also my other issue, and that's not really an issue, but it's a bit of a criticism to the ref. I think, I'm an advocate for the referee to allow play to go on and all of that, but I think for a game of that magnitude, you also have to instill discipline. And I think in that game, there was a lack of discipline in both ends. There were tackles that were supposed to not go unbooked, both ends. And I think the ref should have utilized that to instill a little bit of discipline, maybe would have seen better football. But if you just allow those tackles to fly, it sort of like killed the game. You know, we're no longer watching the game to enjoy, because now players are just become a physical, what you call physical, for lack of like physical
aggression,
and it
aggressive play.
it just takes away from the football, you know. And
I think there were a lot of soft free kick, which is strange, right? Is that the referee was far too harsh on certain tackles that were soft, that you thought, let them play. It's a 50-50.
Yes.
Let them play.
Yeah.
So I think he was too strict in some instances, but then in terms of the bookings, not strict enough.
Yeah, not strict enough. You know, I think he allowed some tackles to go unpunished that should have been at least
bookable offences, yellow cards.
Offenses.
And to come to the end of that game with no yellow cards was a surprise to me.
It was.
I still asked you at the end. I'm like, did we have a yellow card? I didn't see one.
And I think we did not have.
Look,
it's crazy.
Difficult when we were in the stands the whole game. Yeah. We should have brought up the stats.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to let us know your thoughts on the derby as well. If you were there, or if you just watched it on TV, let us know what you thought of the officiating. I think he handled the game well and he was consistent.
Yeah.
But some bookings and maybe let a few of the softer tackles go. You know, marginal complaints.
Because as a player, if you can be aggressive and get away with it, and not even a talking to, just wave play on. Oh, you're like, okay, I'm doing something right, and then on to the next one, on to the next one, and then now the game it's just a game of tackles, I'm even losing trail of my thoughts as I speak.
I think just the last thing that I wanted to touch on before we close up on the derbies, that's something that we didn't speak about, because we spoke about the opportunity for Chiefs to go on and win this. This game would have been completely different if Osman Apolis's goal was allowed to stand. That looked a marginal offside in replays.
It was very close.
We were seated on the opposite end of the stadium. Quite a few Pirates fans, for obvious reasons, were complaining that he was onside. And I still said, guys, we can't see from here. There's no way we can see from here if that's on or offside. But the linesman was right there. It looked marginal, like I said. It was very close. It was close. But the image you showed me afterwards, I was like, I would have to draw the lines. You know, we'd have to have like a full-on VAR review of that one because it was very tight.
Yeah,
that goes in different game.
Yeah, it does. You know, and for me, look, and I always speak about this, myself and you. We talk football almost all the time, and I always say when it comes to officiating and all of those things, it's so difficult to blame the lineman. You know, he's using his physical eye. Yeah,
we're using a camera afterwards and looking whatever.
You know, and on another day it would have been given. Was Orlando Pirates robbed? I don't think they were robbed. It just it's one of those things, and this decision sometimes goes for you and sometimes they go against you, you know. And then when they go for you, yes, rejoice. But if they go against you, you can't now come out and say, hey, we were robbed. That's how football is. We don't have the technology of VAR that can actually eliminate such kind of things. We don't have that. And
do we want it? Do we even want it?
I think we do. You know, I think that's what the world is moving.
With the complaints that we get around the world for VAR.
Yeah.
We want it, but we want it effective.
Yeah.
We want it done well and something that's not going to slow down the game too much. Yeah. But look, when I saw that image, it looked like to me that Osman Apolis's right shoulder or head was slightly ahead of Cross's trailing left foot.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good decision, but there's no way the linesman saw it in that way. So marginal. Could have gone either way. Like you said, could have gone. And on another day, that's a goal that stands.
And for me, I'm not that kind of a fan that now feels like, okay, now
robbed.
We are robbed. Yeah. No, there are certain decisions sometimes that goes for us, and that's the nature of the game, and you should accept it in all forms when it comes for you and when it goes against you. That's it. That's my take on that.
And to close off on the derby.
Yeah.
Why leaving the stadium did it feel like a Kaizer Chiefs win and an Orlando Pirates loss?
You know, if you're coming back from a 3-0 defeat in the first round, and let's be honest, the first round was just 4 or 5 weeks ago. So that defeat is still very much fresh for Kaizer Chiefs fans. And today, yesterday, all they needed to do was to stop Orlando Pirates from winning, right? And if it means it's a draw, it's still a win for them. I think in a way, So I think that's where it stems from. It's just a matter of we were wounded, and losing 3-0 to your biggest rival, it never sits well, and it sits with you for a longest time. And being able to stop your rival from beating you, and also from advancing in terms of title challenge, you've actually done well. So I think that's why it felt like a win for Kaizer Chiefs.
I agree. And look, I would like to see a disruption to the dominance of Sundowns winning season in, season out. You don't want the PSL or Betway Premiership to become Farmers League in that way.
Which I think it already is.
Right? But if we can stop that, maybe it can be more competitive in future and allow even Chiefs better opportunities to go win a title in coming years, So all I can ask is, as a Kaizer Chiefs fan, it's so hard to say because I want Arsenal to win the league just because I'm a Manchester United fan. I don't want City to win it again, right? So this is showing my naivety as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, because now you can't want Paris to win it.
Yeah, right. But in saying that, Kaizer Chiefs can still do Pirates a big favor because they are the best of the rest.
Yeah.
It's clear. Although Richards Bay could be the best of the rest the way they played, but Kaizer Chiefs could still do Orlando Pirates a big favor against Mamelodi Sundowns in weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely. If they can approach the Mamelodi Sundowns game the way that they approach Pirates game, they can actually cause an upset.
I think they can. And an upset comes in a draw even.
Right. Because for Orlando Pirates, that was an upset. A draw is an upset. You draw points, So, and if you look at how Kaizer Chiefs actually played in the first round with Mamelodi Sundowns, I think it was a 1-1 draw. I can't remember. But it was a draw. I think it was 1-1 or 0-0. But I can't remember properly. But you can correct me in the comments. But I think it was 1-1. It shows you that they can actually hold their own. And I did say this, I think it was an episode ago, that Kaizer Chiefs, in my view, I don't think they've got bad players. They actually have good players. And they just lack a little bit of mentality. And we saw yesterday when that mentality kicks in, they even become better. So I'm saying that if they go to Mamelodi Sundowns and play the way that they played with Orlando Pirates, who knows? Anything is possible. They might even get a win. We don't know.
I agree. If they approach it with the same level of tactical and shape discipline, they'll make it so difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns. Whether the strategy has to change slightly to adjust to Sundown style of play, etc. That's that's up to that management team for them to do the work that they do. And then anything can happen. So the draw with Sundowns failing to capitalize, it could have been worse for them.
It could have been worse.
The balance of chances created.
On the balance of chances created, Mahala and Bant chances, one-on-one with Ronwen Williams, and a Mahala chance, obviously, he rushed it, and then Cupido deflected it outside for a corner. And Bant was just stopped by Williams, When you look at those chances and you look at the fact that Richards Bay had more clear-cut chances than Mamelodi Sundowns, I think more than anything, Sundowns fans will be saying, we can't be in this situation where we're not creating clear-cut chances. We can't be relying on our defense to actually save us, because Mamelodi Sundowns' defense was the difference again on the day. So I think they'll be worried. It's 2 games now, 4 points dropped. And this is unlike Mamelodi Sundowns.
Especially at this point of the season.
At this point of the season, Mamelodi Sundowns seems to just be on the driving seat. They don't set a foot wrong. But to go now, 2 games, 4 points dropped, I think they will be worried a bit.
Wednesday night, they traveled to Polokwane.
So what they were faced with at Richards Bay
is waiting for them Wednesday.
It's waiting there for them in Wednesday, and as to how they're going to approach that game, we will see. But Polokwane City, it's going to make it very difficult for them. It's not going to give them space. It's not going to allow them to play. There won't be a flow. So it will be interesting to see that Polokwane City in that stadium. It's a problem. Kaizer Chiefs went there and come back with 1 point as well. Orlando Pirates escaped and won 2-1. It's not an easy ground to play.
And then
that's very hostile.
That Sundowns game in hand, if they fail to win that one, then it's advantage Pirates once again.
Yeah.
Just purely on the goals difference standing. So they'll be locked level on 59 points. Same games played, but Pirates will have that advantage on goal difference.
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns need a win on Wednesday night to stay ahead, because they will have played, before Orlando Pirates kick a ball again, they will have played 2 games, both against Polokwane City.
Yes.
And if they don't get 6 points from that, from those 2 games, could be a window for Orlando Pirates to go on a run. I mean, it's all they have to focus on. They don't have CAF Champions League to focus on.
No.
They can go on and win every game from now until the end of the season. And in their minds, they have to.
They have to.
We say this every week, and it doesn't seem to
Yeah,
change.
there's a lot of points getting dropped
everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're surprised by that. But, you have to keep it in your hands. And right now, it's still not in Pirates' own hands, but it could become that way soon.
Yeah, there's still a lot of football to be played. I think Sundowns is left with 5 games? Pirates 4?
4 games for Pirates, 5 games for Sundowns. Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot can still happen in those games. We've seen the past 2-3 games that points were dropped in both sides. And who to say Pirates are still not going to drop points?
Yeah. Look, I think the way it's looking, the form, both teams are still going to drop points.
Yeah.
It's just about how many you drop.
Yeah. Yeah. But for Mamelodi Sundowns, playing Polokwane City twice, it's going to be in a week. It's going to be a challenge, and they still have Kaizer Chiefs. So I think they still have a lot of challenges that lies ahead. But let's see. It's Mamelodi Sundowns. They know how to get into gear. Maybe from now on they don't lose a game.
And of course, with Betway Premiership action going to be wrapping up in May, like we said, we also have the Nedbank Cup coming up.
Yeah.
This Saturday, 2nd of May, Durban City, TS Galaxy.
Yeah, Bernard Parker is at the helm for TS Galaxy after they've let go of their coach.
Managed to get a draw this weekend.
Yes.
It's a small improvement on form because they were just slipping and falling and sliding.
So it will be interesting, and like I said, I think Durban City will edge them. I've watched TS Galaxy play, and they are not convincing. They are not the TS Galaxy that we all got to accustomed to in terms of their style of play. They're a team that will beat any team at any given day. We've seen them beating Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup. I think it was 2019. So when I look at them, for me, they were not convincing. That's why I think Durban City are going to be a problem for them. And also with the coach gone, it's another challenge for them.
As a Kaizer Chiefs fan, to see Bernard Parker at the helm, it sort of sways my allegiance in this fixture a little bit towards TS Galaxy.
Yeah, good luck to him.
I hope he's in the job for 2 weeks and has a trophy in the bag.
Yeah.
To
be interesting.
In your first 2 weeks of the game. It'll be horrible for the outgoing manager to see his team win the Nedbank Cup. Maybe he'll be happy for the players, but it's terrible to get your team all the way there and not be able to ask Jose Mourinho what that feels like to get your team all the way to a final, or even ask Gavin Hunt,
of course,
what it feels like to get your team all the way to the final and then not be able to be the manager of the club for that final game. So as difficult as that is, Nedbank Cup action Saturday. It is happening at Moses Mabhida, if I'm correct.
Is it Moses Mabhida?
Let us know in the comments. I always think it's Moses Mabhida. I'm not seeing it come up here on Google. It's always such a letdown in terms of our information here on Google. But Durban City versus TS Galaxy in the Nedbank Cup final. That's a great one to watch. 6 p.m. on Saturday for the Nedbank Cup. Probably if you can't win the Premiership, that's the trophy you want.
That's the trophy you want, because definitely that trophy gets you a spot in CAF Champions League.
Exactly.
Not CAF Champions League,
in
CAF
Confederation Cup, which is how Kaizer Chiefs participated in the competition this season. So, massive fixture. Durban City, TS Galaxy.
It's Polokwane. We spoke about it.
Polokwane.
I forgot. Yeah,
right.
It's Polokwane.
Okay, so big match in Polokwane Wednesday night, and then a bigger match in Polokwane on Saturday.
Yeah, but the other match is on the smaller Old Putamikawa.
Oh, right.
And then this one is
the big stadium.
It's the big stadium.
Okay.
Right.
That Old Peter Mokaba is the one that's so difficult to get points at.
Yeah, the one opposite. The newer one. So interesting.
Okay, Nedbank Cup wrapped up. FA Cup action.
Yeah.
Chelsea will face Man City in the final of the FA Cup. The oldest trophy in football. Manchester City, this is the fourth final in a row for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, I think, in the FA Cup.
They lost to United.
Crystal Palace,
yeah, and the other one, they won.
They've won.
Okay.
They won 2, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember properly, but
Anyway. Chelsea are through after beating Leeds in a game that was...
Oh, and Liam's
gone. He won't be able to see through the FA Cup competition.
You must call Gavin and say, how do you deal with this?
How do you deal with this? Call Jose Mourinho as well. How do you cope?
And his situation is similar to Gavin Hunt. Because when Gavin...
results.
Yeah. So when Gavin Hunt was sacked, Chiefs had just gone to they were playing the semi-finals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he did manage to get a 7-0 win against Port Vale along the way. Yeah. So maybe he deserves his medal if Chelsea are to win the FA Cup final. Of course, we will preview that on the 16th of May. But just a quick word. Southampton, compliments to you. They were leading their FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, neutral ground against Manchester City. Maybe it didn't feel as much of a neutral ground because Manchester City fans are spoilt and they'll only come to the final because they expect their teams to win. They didn't really show up on the day, whereas Southampton fans really showed up. Compliments to Southampton to get to Wembley as a championship side.
Yeah. And holding on until they could score on the 89th minute. It goes to show you. They knocked off who in the
Arsenal in the quarterfinal
along the way. So they are no pushovers, And this it speaks to the difference between EFL and Premier League teams. It's not so much.
No, the Championship is a tough competitive league.
Yeah, it's a very tough and they play more football than the Premier League, in terms of number of games they play in the season. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, so it's grueling.
It's grueling. Yeah,
but compliments to Southampton. Look, they are a top side. They've been in the Premier League for a really long time before their recent relegation.
Yeah,
and then Manchester City just do what Manchester City does.
After the goal, I think that's when they switched on. I think they scored 2-3 minutes later to equalize with via Doku, and that thunder from Nico Gonzalez just sealed the game. And as a City fan, you'll be happy, but you look at Southampton, the way they carried themselves as a championship side, for them to lose it in the last 10 minutes, it's kind of heartbreaking,
And similarly, the FA Cup. To win the FA Cup gives you a European position. You get to play in the Europa League.
Wow.
So, as a championship side, to play in the Europa League.
You want that?
Well, it's a lot of games.
Yeah,
it's a lot of football games to be a championship side in the Europa League. But anyway, Manchester City did manage to get through that one. And Chelsea managed to get past Leeds in another unconvincing performance for the favourites, let's put it that way. The big sides are in the FA Cup final, but it was unconvincing, similar to the Nedbank Cup final. Durban City and TS Galaxy managed to kick out two Motsepe Foundation teams along the way in unconvincing fashion.
Yeah.
So look, Chelsea versus Manchester City, I guess it's the final we all want to see anyway.
of course, it's gonna be.
Other than the dream of an underdog, to have two of the biggest sides in English football go head to head in the FA Cup. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game to watch on the 16th of May. However, Premier League action, let's have a look at that. Of course, what that meant for match week 34 was that Manchester City and Chelsea both had to play their fixtures a week earlier.
Yeah, to catch up.
As the catch-up games. Chelsea got thumped 3-0 for the end of Liam Rosenior since we last spoke. Liam Rosenior will not be fondly remembered by English football fans, particularly Chelsea fans. We'll enjoy the memes and the jokes, but he was taken out of Strasbourg doing good things, building a good reputation, a good career. Did Chelsea ruin his career?
Look, can I answer that with a question? Is Amorim's career ruined?
No.
I don't think Liam's career is ruined.
But Ruben Amorim, I think he put a better performance in as a manager. He was there longer. He improved the squad that was doing. I think Liam Rosenior replaced Enzo Maresca and made the team worse.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think Ruben Amorim, as much as people don't like him and didn't enjoy the performances, I think he made Manchester United. He left Man United in a better position than Erik ten Hag left him.
But still, it was not convincing.
Right.
And Liam Rosenior, I think his biggest mistake was to accept this job mid-season. I always say it's difficult to take over a team, I think, mid-season, because you're taking a team that is struggling. Number one, you came in, you probably have maybe 2 or 3 plans of how you're going to turn things around, right? Plan number 1 doesn't work. Maybe 2 to 3 games, it doesn't work. You go to plan number 2. As you go to plan number 2, the pressure is increasing of getting the results. And then eventually, when you get to plan number 3, if plan number 2 doesn't work, the team it's deep in trouble and you get the sack. So if ever you take this kind of a job, when the season ends, you go through all your plans while you are not playing competitive football. You go on pre-season, you assess what sort of players you want, which players suit what system you want to implement, and you can take it from there. Going into that job is just like flying into a frying pan, bro. Like, it's not an easy one. And that's why I don't think his career is ruined. I just think it's one of those where he'll just have to accept and go rebuild elsewhere, like you see the likes of Frank Lampard did.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Frank Lampard has done a tremendous job getting Coventry City back in and winning the title now.
Yeah.
So not only are they confirmed as through to the Premier League next season, they have won the championship.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other Premier League action from the weekend. Arsenal scraping a win against Newcastle. Not very convincing, but at the end of the day, these 1-0s, they mean titles.
They do. Those are champion. That's why they say 1-0 is a championship score.
Yeah, it's the hallmark of champions. When you don't play well and you still get the result.
That's it. And you could see how it meant for Arsenal. I mean, Arteta was punching the air. It meant a lot. And towards the end, you could see the pressure. Even the fans, some fans could even look. They were closing their eyes. They were looking down. It was intense. So it goes to show you how important that game is in terms of title, because it's not all gone. It's still within reach, and they just have to win their games. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and I'll tell you what, this title looks like it's going to the last day. I think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be very close.
Manchester City, unfortunately, still playing catch-up, as they generally do, because they're in a lot of competitions, but this time it's actually because Crystal Palace's success in Europe is why Manchester City haven't been able to play their catch-up game as yet.
Yeah.
I think the big story from this weekend's football really is at the bottom of the table, however.
Yeah.
With Spurs, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham all getting 3 points. It's like, As soon as you get those 3 points, you're like, right, we're going to get over the line. And all your opponents get it too, you're just back to square one.
Yeah.
And you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
And this momentum going forward is really good news for Forest because of their big win by a big margin. I think the
5-0.
confidence will be
Just
there.
against Sunderland.
Against a good Sunderland side.
It's
A lot of
crazy.
people with a little joke there that Granit Xhaka is such a big Arsenal guy that he lost 5-0 on purpose just to get Spurs relegated. Very funny. Not the case.
Imagine a world where Arsenal wins the league and Spurs gets relegated. Whew.
Yeah, it would be big for Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
So all three of those sides, West Ham getting a 2-1 win against Everton, big result. And then Spurs, who have their first Premier League win of 2026, it doesn't matter if it comes against Wolves as long as you win.
Yeah,
and
of
it was
course.
1-0, etc.
And Giuseppe did say he wants just the first win.
Just the first win.
I mean,
and
he
see if they
drew.
can take it from there.
He drew, the first one?
Yes.
First game he drew. Now is a win.
Yeah, and what a draw that was.
Yeah.
The 2-2 draw.
Yeah, because they could manage the game in the last 5
minutes.
Yeah.
But this coming weekend, everything could change. And I think particularly for West Ham, because they seem, in a way, to have the easiest fixture of those relegation candidates. I think Leeds, we've been saying they're safe. So they face Burnley. That's almost a gimme at this point. You know, if you could face Burnley and Wolves every weekend, you'll survive. You know, you're going to get points there. West Ham have to play Brentford. Not a joke of a side. Good side. I mean, I can't tell you where they're sitting on the table because they haven't played Manchester United yet at the time of recording.
No.
Good side. West Ham have to travel there. No guarantees. But Spurs have to travel to Villa Park. And Forest have to travel to Chelsea.
Sure.
So,
Villa Park is not going to be easy.
not at all. And
But-
Villa need to qualify for Champions League. They've been overtaken by Liverpool now for fourth position. So they've got the likes of Bournemouth, Brighton, etc. on their heels for those Champions League spots.
Yeah.
Chelsea as well, obviously still there and thereabouts. They need to finish in the top 5, Aston Villa.
Yeah, no, Spurs are in trouble. Real big trouble. Because Forest going to Chelsea, I mean, at the back of 5-0 win, this is
They'll
Chelsea.
have confidence.
They'll have confidence. Even if they get a draw, I think they're still pretty much safe.
And they are in the advantageous position of being ahead of everybody else on points. They're on 36 points. They're 5 points clear of Spurs. So even if they don't get the points at Chelsea, if they don't get points at Chelsea, it almost doesn't matter if Spurs don't win at Villa.
True. They've already put themselves they've given themselves a good cushion.
They're in the driver's seat,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Look, West Ham do have a game in hand, and they can, with the win in that game in hand, they can come within 5 points, within 1 point, of Forest. So this relegation scrap, this also another one that could go to the final day, but it's looking scarier and scarier for Spurs because no points at Villa Park, and it just starts looking downhill from there again.
Yeah.
You know, it's all well and good to win, but with everyone else winning around you, you know, these teams, they're still in trouble. Forest, West Ham, and Spurs.
Anything can still happen there.
Anything can still happen there. Okay,
That spot for relegation is still very much a possibility for all those three.
right. I mean, Burnley aren't confirmed as relegated as yet, I don't think, but they might as well be. They are 12 points off of safety with 5 games to go.
True. Yeah, no. Anything can happen. I don't think
Definitely
they're
not
out of the
Burnley.
woods. Even Forest, I don't think they're out of the woods.
No.
I think Leeds are more likely.
Leeds, I think, are fine. And that 39 points mark, I think everyone's survived on 38 points in previous seasons. 38 points was enough. I don't know if 38 points will be enough this season. But
Don't think it will be.
yeah, but Leeds will still get, the Leeds at least have one more win in them. And if they win against Burnley, they're safe. If they win against Burnley on Friday night, they're safe. They'll be fine. But I think they're fine already. I think it's between Forest, West Ham, and Spurs. Forest still not out of the woods, but having that little buffer is massive. I mean, they're 5 points clear of Spurs as things stand.
Yeah, it's a good buffer. It's a good buffer because like if you slip up, you
can slip up one game.
Yeah, you still have an opportunity to.
And Spurs have to capitalize. So even if Forest, let's say 38 points has been enough in previous seasons, they're 2 draws away from that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's the run-in. Let's speak about the top teams and their FA Cup, their Premier League action this weekend. Rather, Manchester City will play against Everton on Monday night. Not a given. Travelling to Everton's new, Duncan Hill something for whatever stadium.
Yeah.
Anyway, some law firm on the river stadium.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Not an easy place to go get points.
Not at all.
But they are Manchester City and it is the run-in, so Arsenal can't rely on them dropping points in that game. They have to beat Fulham in a London derby.
They have to. And it's a derby.
It's a derby.
And
it's a London derby.
A draw means, hey, you're losing grip.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
and a draw's not good enough. Dropping any points at this point for Arsenal, not good enough.
Yeah. And for Fulham, it should be a good treat for their fans if they can stop their rival from getting points and actually being in good position to win that Premier League.
They're also only 3 points off of 6th position, which is a European spot.
So there's a lot to fight for.
There's a lot to fight for. Fulham, Sunderland, Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth and Brentford are all really close to that top 6 position. It's really tight. I mean, they're all within 3 points of each other.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
So
there's a battle at the bottom, there's a battle in the middle, there's a battle at the top, and it's always tough during this time of the season.
Absolutely. Look, as of time of recording, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Manchester United are all 5 points clear, from what I understand, of Brighton. They're all 8 points clear of Brighton on 58 points. That's a good buffer for those Champions League spots.
Yep.
Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Manchester United are all 8 points clear. 2 wins and you're in the Champions League.
Yep.
2 wins from the remaining 5, you're in the Champions League.
Sorted.
So what does that mean for the likes of Chelsea? Doesn't look like they're going to be playing Champions League football. They're going to have to finish 6th and or win the FA Cup to get that Europa League spot.
Yeah, they're most likely going to be playing Europa. I don't think
10 points behind.
They haven't done enough in the past few games, especially under the Leandro Senna.
Yeah, so they have to turn it around fast because there's only 5 games left for them.
Yeah. Which I don't think they would.
Oh, it's not even 5, it's 4 games left for them.
Yeah.
My apologies. So 4 games to catch up 10 points, it's not going to happen. 4 games, there's only 12 points available.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Nah, I don't think it will.
So anyway, that's the Premier League. Speaking of Champions League, we've got Champions League action this week. Tonight, PSG versus Bayern Munich.
It's going to... Who's at home first?
PSG's home game first.
It's going to be a tough one.
Look, I think this Bayern Munich team, they were 3-0 down at the weekend in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, come back.
Then half-time, they bring on Harry Kane and Michael Olise and they win 4-3. It's like, we don't need to play the top players. We can give them a rest, etc., because we've already won the league. You 3-0 down, it's like, that's not acceptable for Bayern Munich. Bring on the big guns.
Doesn't matter what is happening midweek. We need to win, even though we have already won the league.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Bring on the big guns.
It's the mentality of the team.
4-3.
Yeah. Doesn't matter we've won the league. We still have to win our games. We are Bayern Munich.
That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it will be interesting. But I think PSG also are a problem at home.
They're a good side. We know they've got some of the top players around. They were the best team in the world.
And they've been playing good football. Ever since
11, 12 months ago, they were the best team in the world.
Yeah. So it will be interesting. But I think maybe Bayern can just edge them slightly.
I think so. Over the course of the 2 fixtures, I think Bayern Munich will go through.
Yeah, same here.
I think Bayern Munich.
I think it's going to be a Bayern Atletico final.
You think Arsenal will choke?
The thing is, I think, Atletico is so unpredictable. Yes, they've beat them, I think, 4-0 in the group stages. But this is over 2 legs, eh?
I like what you say about Atletico being unpredictable. We all thought they were going to just defend against. We thought they were going to just defend against Barcelona.
Yeah. Nope.
They went at it.
Yeah, they went at it.
Look,
through. The red cards did help them, though. The red cards that Barcelona got, but hey, it's part of football, doesn't take away the results. But what I'm saying is Atletico is unpredictable. They can just cause upset. On a good day, they can be a problem.
It's absolutely true. And then Wednesday night, Atletico, Arsenal, like you say, like you're talking about. Atletico at home in the first game. I think Arsenal will shade it.
You think?
So I think Arsenal will shade it. I think they're going to finish second.
It's Bayern Arsenal final.
I think so.
But which one, from a footballing perspective, as a fan, which final would you like to see?
To be honest, Atletico and Arsenal are just going to make it's not going to be a beautiful final, is it?
Yeah.
Because whether they play PSG or whether they play Bayern Munich, I'd rather see PSG Bayern as a final. It'll be a more exciting final.
Yeah, but that's not possible.
It's not possible. But that's my concern with this. I think
Bayern Arsenal will be fire.
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to be the final. It'll be a good final.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I don't want to see PSG Atletico final.
I don't think we will.
I'd rather see Bayern Atletico or Bayern
Arsenal. Or even PSG Arsenal. That won't be too bad either.
Yeah, I think so.
But a Bayern Arsenal final, it's big. It's big for the fans of world football. I think they've got more fans globally than Atletico and PSG. Not that they're not well supported, but Bayern Munich Arsenal final, especially from an African perspective. There's a lot of fans of Bayern Munich and Arsenal in Africa.
Yeah, special Arsenal. Have you seen like Uganda and all those places? Got crazy Arsenal fans.
Crazy Arsenal fans. So from an African perspective, I'd love to see that final because Bayern Munich Arsenal as a final would be massive. But yeah, Champions League action.
Let us know which final you fancy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
before we go,
yes,
Baroka FC. I don't know if you remember them.
Yes.
They've been relegated in Musuphi Foundation Championship.
They were on the edge of being in the Betway Premiership.
Some few seasons back, but now they are relegated to the amateur ranks. It's crazy.
Oh, good.
And for me, it's sad because I've seen that team and I've been to where they are, to a base in Limpopo. I've seen what they were trying to do around there and building the Baroka village and all of that. You know, such kind of leadership in football just goes to show you they've got the right attitude towards football. You know, they're doing all the right things, and to see them going to amateur ranks, it's really sad. But hopefully they can they fight their way back, or they'll do what any other South Africans does when they're faced with this situation and they've got a couple of millions. They just buy themselves back into elite football. But yeah, sad day for Baroka and sad day for the people of Limpopo there.
Kruger United, on the other hand, on the brink of being promoted.
Yeah.
There's still an opportunity for the likes of Hungry Lions, Cape Town City and Milford to qualify through playoffs. But because of that 8-point gap at the top for Kruger United, they're a game away from being promoted.
Yeah. I wonder if, anyway.
Cape Town City?
They know how to... Where are they right now? Number 3rd?
They're fourth. On 45 points.
Yeah.
Hungry Lions and Milford are ahead of them with 47 points each.
Yeah.
Looks like Keswick has dropped off ever so slightly after their Nedbank Cup run. Yeah. They are 4 points behind Hungry Lions and Milford.
They might not make the playoff. Yeah. Because playoff is just 2nd and 3rd.
Yes.
They play number 15.
So currently, as it stands, Kruger United through Milford and Hungry Lions will be playing, as things stand, Maruma Gallants.
I wonder if that Hungry Lions is got
anything can happen. I mean, Chipper United could fall down into that 15th spot. Magesi, Maruma Gallants. It could even be Orbit College. It's very tight at the bottom of the Betway Premiership. It could be TS Galaxy down there. We know anything can happen.
Yeah.
There's not many games left.
Yeah.
But in those remaining 4 games, a lot can change. It looks like I say TS Galaxy could be sucked up there. They're 5 points clear of Magesi Maruma Gallants and 6 points clear of Orbit. With 4 games to go.
Yeah.
Get one win across the line and be safe.
Yep, that's it. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Anyway, that's what's coming from Motsepe Foundation.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. But yeah, sad day. Sorry, Limpopo.
Yeah.
But let's see. Maybe Baroka just buy themselves back into a franchise.
Probably would. That's what everybody does. You can't blame them. It's crazy.
Anyway, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the experience of the Soweto Derby.
Oh,
it was great
dope,
coming
man.
with you.
I enjoyed the Soweto Derby. It was fun.
It was loads of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Marco Martins.
I'm Mulalo Musuphi.
This is Black and White Boots.
And Danko means thank you.
Danko means thank you.